Walk into any 1980s department store and you won't notice it right away. Nothing jumps out at you. There are still mixers there, and they still run and do what they're supposed to do. But if you stand there for a minute, something feels off. Where are the mixers from Sunbeam? For nearly a century, the Sunbeam Mixmaster has been one of the most recognizable machines in the American kitchen. Millions were made in dozens of models across several decades. Many were wedding gifts. Some came from your grandmother's kitchen. Yours may have come from your mom. But whether your Mixmaster is a flea market find or a fully restored treasure from AuntieNin.com, this series will help you figure out exactly what you have. Because every Mixmaster has a story. So now we're standing in a housewares aisle that feels different. The colors have changed, the shapes have changed, everything feels a little softer, a little more refined. On one side, you've got the European offerings, Das Machines. Clean lines, neutral tones, everything coordinated. You're not just buying a mixer, you're buying into a system. On the other side, you've got KitchenAid. Still heavy, still simple, still unmistakable. Not trying to be everything, just trying to be exactly what it was. And then, somewhere on the bottom row of the back wall, you've got Sunbeam. And this is where you start to see machines like this. And I'll just say, part of the problem is that it looks funny. It's not bold, it's not distinctive, it's not even confidently modern. It's just kind of off. And one of the reasons it looks that way is that something's missing. There's no handle. Because for the first time since the 1930s, this isn't a machine you can pick up and use. It's fixed, permanently attached to the stand, which means this isn't a hand mixer with a stand. It's the opposite. And that tells you something important, because this machine is trying to go back to the idea of the Mixmaster as a workhorse. Heavy, stable, always in place. But it wasn't. By the time you get here, that's not even where the kitchen is anymore. Because now you've got two things happening at once. On one side, this machine is trying to represent the past. And on the other, the plastics, its own bandmates, are still out there. Bright, colorful, lightweight, trying to figure out what to do in a world that's moved on. Because the kitchen has changed again. The bold colors of the 1970s are giving away to something softer, more muted, more restrained, more earth-toned. And suddenly, those bright, coordinated appliances don't feel so modern anymore. And now Sunbeam is stuck in between three different ideas. A past it's trying to return to, a present it doesn't fully understand, and a future that's already moved ahead. And instead of choosing one direction, it's trying to hold on to all three. And that's where the problem shows up. Because confusion doesn't stay inside the company, it lands on the shelf. Now the retailer has to figure it out. Over here, the Europeans make sense. Clean, cohesive, intentional. Over here, KitchenAid makes sense. Heavy, focused, unmistakable. And in the middle, this doesn't quite connect to either one. Not because it doesn't work, but because it clearly doesn't belong. And when a product isn't clear, the customer hesitates. And when the customer hesitates, retailers get stuck. Inventory sits, space is tight, and eventually something has to give. And when that happens, the shelf starts to shift. Because the things that are easy to explain are the ones that get sold. And the things that get sold are the things that stay. And the things that don't quietly disappear. It wasn't that Sunbeam chose the wrong idea, it's that they never fully chose one at all. And when that happens, a company doesn't fail overnight. It drifts, not forward, not backward, just kind of sideways. And once you're drifting, it's only a matter of time before you try to find your way back. Because in the next chapter, Sunbeam is going to try to do exactly that. They bring back the look, they bring back the name, they bring back the idea of what a Mixmaster used to be. But by then, the thing that made it work in the first place is already gone.